welcome to the Daggerfall Elder Scrolls Chapter 2 Let's Play. I'm Zimix, and I'm going to be doing something a little different this time. I'm going to create a city dweller. This character is never going to leave a town or a city. Unfortunately, I have to start out in a dungeon, but we'll get to that later. He's going to be a common street thief. Just a, low-life thug, stealing from everything. Anyway, let's get started. So, home province, I'm going to choose High Rock for role-playing purposes. Bretons hail from the province of High Rock. You are part of a tall, fair-skinned people, highly intelligent. Magic seems to infuse every being. As a race, they are more resistant to the effects of hostile magic than other groups, so this is important. My character is not going to be able to cast magic. He's not going to have any spell points, and there's going to be no spells in his spellbook. He's going to be a real street thief. Like, this guy is just, the lowest of the low. He can't even join a mage guild. Excellent in all arcane arts. Well, he's not going to be that. But so the compensation for that, for my character creation, is going to be he's going to be immune to paralyzation magic, disease, and poison, but not elemental magic. So you can still get hurt with fire and cold and lightning and stuff like that. So yes, it's going to be male. Choose from the list custom class. I always choose custom class. Like this, just. Yeah, you can't really play Daggerfall unless you do custom class. It's just so much fun. It's like 50% of the fun of the game is making a custom class. So making that custom. Alright, so here we are. Let's jack this up to 14 hit points per level. Now notice the dagger goes up for advancement. The more advantages you give yourself, the more hit points you give yourself, the higher the dagger goes and the harder it is to advance. And the lower you go, the lower it goes, and the easier it is to advance. But I'm going to put this up to 14. Primary skills: lockpicking, pickpocket, climbing. Climbing is important. To escape guards, I want to be able to climb walls really well, to get on top of roofs and city walls and stuff like that. So failing at lockpicking and pickpocketing, and you call guards come chasing after you. So yeah. Major skills, I want streetwise. Streetwise is you're a man of the people, the common folk. You can talk to them, get information, whatever. And then I also want etiquette, which is the opposite of streetwise. You're you can talk to the upper class. You have some weight with them. And then the third is mercantile. I want to be able to haggle, get better prices, pay less for merchandise, and sell more, sell my merchandise for more. Minor skills: critical strike, in case I get into, situations where I have to hit something. Dodging, I want to be able to dodge as many hits as I can. Okay, this guy is not going to be, super proficient in combat at all. And running is important. I want that as at least a minor. The next one is medical. For every time you rest, you heal, and so the higher your medical skill, the faster you heal. Short blade, daggers, short swords are going to be his thing. The classic thief. And finally, stealth. It's not really going to apply most of the time in my situation because I'm going to be running so much from guards, but you know, whatever. Let's see. Stats. Not going to be the smartest guy. And not going to be the most willful, but I have 20 points I can spend elsewhere. So agility, he's going to be pretty quick. Make that up to 60. And speed. Speed is super important. It's probably either going to be my highest stat when I get done making this character. It's either agility or speed, one or the other, depending on the roll I get with the random number roll that's coming up after this. So special advantages, athleticism. If there's anything this guy can do well, it's run without getting tired. He's gonna be running and climbing. I mean, yeah. Next is expertise in short blade. Icing on the cake. Don't really need it, but yeah, whatever, just in case. Rapid healing. This is important. I'm going to just choose in general. Just every time he rests, he's going to be rapidly healing. Notice the dagger's going up a little bit. And finally, immune. Immunity to magic. Now, this is not immune to all magic. This is just immune to paralysis, I believe, poison, and disease. I believe. This encompasses all of those. But not frost, fire, or shock. So any caster can still hurt me with elemental spells. So immune to magic. Notice the dagger went up way high because of that. That's a really big one. And then disadvantages. The only disadvantage I'm going to have is no spell casting. So, inability to regen spell points. I'm not going to have any. Darkness-powered magery, unable to use magic in daylight. Light-powered magery, unable to use magic in darkness, which means I cannot use magic at all. And the dagger is as low as it can possibly go. This is like right on the red line. If it goes lower than the red line, you have to give yourself an advantage or increase your hit points to raise the dagger up towards above the red area. Otherwise, I won't accept the character. And last but not least, reputations. I guess +1 for peasants and plus, I guess, -1 for nobility. I guess that works. Slightly favored among peasants than I am the nobles. Nobles, even though I have etiquette, I can still talk to them. They might not, you know, they still see me for who I am. So, class name. Street thief. Alright, exit. Fast start. Generate background. I don't want to do that. I want to choose my path by answering the questions. So, at an early age, your family considered it important that you learn how to fight with a knife. You are an active child. Faster than anyone. Sneakier, better. Yeah, faster. You can get most of the things you want by stealing from diversified merchants, since they're the most common kind of merchants. So, one skill you cannot work without must be lockpicking. This is the hardest skill to raise. Pickpocketing and then stealth are pretty hard as well. Dodging is not quite as hard, but lockpicking is really, really hard to raise. So, though certainly not due to hard work, you happen to legitimately don't. I'm not going to choose Ebony Dagger. It's just a little bit too lucky for role-playing purposes. I mean, yeah, you could choose. I could choose it, but nah. I'm going to be doing something in the early game that won't demand that Ebony Dagger. So, over 200 gold pieces. What thieving skill have you been practicing the longest? Lockpicking. Where's your expertise in combat? Short-bladed weapons, because I chose short blade. As a child, your nickname Quicksilver. What motivates you into a life of burglary? Riches. He's just greedy. And what god do you worship? He doesn't worship any god. He doesn't have time. He's too busy, you know, too busy stealing, trying to make ends meet. You know, worrying where his next meal is coming from. He doesn't have time for all this, you know, nonsense of god of time. You know, time. What time is it? It's daytime. It's time to steal. That's what time it is. You know, so none. Your frail health as a child has made you. I can't choose all three. I can't choose any of these three because I chose immune to magic, and this would be metagaming. If I chose less resistance to poison, I'd still be immune to poison because I chose immune to magic as an advantage. So that'd be kind of cheating. Not really, but it's an exploit. So I'm going to choose easily tired. My stamina goes down quicker than normal. Your preferred criminal method is, of course, cat burglary, breaking and entering. So, reputation have changed as follows based on my choices. Unchanged. For some reason, scholars like me more. I haven't figured this one out yet. I haven't given any reason for any member of a, you know, academia to like me more. But whatever, you know, that's the engine. Name Tynan de Vierden. Choose thy face. Oh, there's a good face. Nice and stern. I'm going to steal everything in sight. Pretty good roll. Let's get speed up to 70 and agility up to 70. And then I guess the rest... Personality. I can do that. And I guess strength. Be able to carry more. Actually... yeah. Looks good. That's pretty good for a first roll. Alright. I like it. That's good. I'm gonna... So you got 6 extra points per skill category, so I'm just gonna again bump up lockpicking as high as I can. 43 is really good for any starting primary skill. If it's above 40, it's really good. And lockpicking, you need as high as you can. Streetwise, mercantile, I'm gonna jack that up as high as I can. Again, to, you know, sell for as high as I can while buying it as low a price as I can get. And the rest of these, I guess, dodging, I guess. Alright. Reflexes, very high. Again, it's this is more very high. The monster will move and attack quickly, forcing you to be quick. Very low. The monster will move and attack slowly, allowing you to take more time, but your character will advance a little slower with a lower reflex setting to offset that, and will advance a little faster with a high reflex. So, you know, if you want to advance faster, you choose a high reflex setting, so very high. And that's it. All right.
"400 years after Tyberception's reign, the beginning will meet the end, and the bloody circle will close in the empire of Tamriel. The unworthy heirs of the Septim dynasty have allowed the bonds of the empire to weaken and crack. Uriel Septim, the Seventh, cannot repair what his ancestors ignored. The provinces fight among themselves like neglected children, drunk with rebellion, and one indomitable power hides itself, but not forever."
Excuse the gloom, but none may know of this meeting. The nature of my trouble is darker still. Over a year ago, King Lysandus of Daggerfall died honorably on the field of battle.
No, don't care.
He was as loyal a subject, ally, and friend as you are. I did grieve for him.
I didn't.
But his spirit does not rest. With a spectral army, he haunts his former kingdom, crying for revenge. I do not know why a good and loyal man would be so cursed. Perhaps you can find the answer and close the marble jaws of oblivion, bringing peace to his soul.
I'll think about it.
I ask this as your emperor and your friend. I have one lesser request. Several years ago, I wrote a letter to the Queen of Daggerfall. It never arrived. The letter was of a sentimental and personal nature. If you find and destroy that letter, I will be grateful. Now, my champion, rest well this night, for tomorrow you sail for the kingdom of Daggerfall.
We can look around the room. Some hours ago you were in a boat en route to Daggerfall when a storm of supernatural strength bowled over the Elect Bay like a malevolent creature. Your boat was destroyed, but you managed to swim through the churning water to a promontory rock. There you found a cave and escaped the fury of the storm. You'd only just lit a small fire when a mudslide sealed you within. Fear of being buried alive calmed when you saw the corridor leading out of the cavern. Perhaps there is a way out of this cave after all. Once free of the cave, you can begin the Emperor's quest. Not really interested in the Emperor's quest. It's optional. You can do the main quest if you want to. You know, this is an Elder Scrolls game, so you have the option of, just either doing it or going about your own way. So it has a tutorial that can be active during the game. No, I don't want the tutorial. And here we are. Here's the fire. So I chose Breton, and I chose to be from the Kingdom of High Rock. So this is my character. 850 gold, okay. No affiliations. Inventory. Iron short sword, iron long sword. I won't be using these. Notice when I click on spellbook, nothing happens, because I don't have a spellbook. And I have no mana. So 0 out of 0 spell points for casting. Minor. And that concludes. Oh yeah, so I chose a Breton because I want this character to already be familiar with the land that he just landed in. The game takes place in High Rock and Hammerfell to the south, but I want him to be from High Rock because for role-playing purposes he's already familiar with this dungeon in particular, because I'm going to be running through this dungeon directly to the exit. I already know where the exit is, and so, I have to justify that by saying, well, my character's from High Rock, he's from the Daggerfall province, he's familiar with this particular place called Privateer's Hold, you know, because it's, you know, it could be a place where thieves and ruffians go to, you know, hide out and stuff like that. Again, I don't want to spend any more time in this dungeon than I have to, because there's a lot of bad stuff in this dungeon, and I'm going to be running literally for my life through this whole entire dungeon. And that's in part 2. So, thank you for watching, and see you next time.